literally are the last ECW
Yeah,
champion. Like that,
yeah,
no one can take that from you.
yeah. No.
Hey guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name is Malcolm. Today I have a very special guest. This is one of my biggest fans growing up, my biggest wrestlers growing up when I was a kid. I was a huge fan of this guy, Ezekiel Jackson. Rick on Stevens. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. You made me seem old.
Nah,
As a
not
kid
one bit.
growing up, dog.
Not one
I'm
bit.
good, man. I'm really good.
Amazing. No, you're still the personification of domination. I mean, like, you were that
Trying
guy
to
when
be.
you growing up, man. You honestly look the same. Like, you don't look any different from when I was watching you when I was like 11 years old. It's like you have literally not aged one bit whatsoever. What's the secret? How'd you crack that code?
I guess my wife. I um I don't know, man. I love working out. I love staying active. Um at the point now, don't stress much. Just let life happens and life happen and I think that's it. Just letting life happen.
That's amazing. How's life been since like you're no longer a professional wrestler, you're no longer in the WWE? What's the day to day of like your life versus maybe the life of Ezekiel Jackson?
Um, I run my own personal training business, so very flexible with my scheduling. Start my days at noon and end at 6.
Amazing.
Thankfully, I have clients that are very flexible that are good for mid-morning workouts, mid-afternoon workouts. Most personal trainers tend to work when their clients aren't working, which is usually early mornings and then evenings. And thankfully, my clients are CEOs or retired or people that could just say, "Hey, I'm going to work out," and then there's just they can come in and work out. So they work with my scheduling. I think a little bit of fame helps that they know who I am and they know about. So they were like not trying to punk me into just being a personal trainer, but love what I do. So the difference is I work 5 days a week, maybe 30 hours a week. Um, work out before I have clients, which is very important to me. I love, this is my thing now. And yeah, and not traveling. I travel now, but it's for pleasure. Enjoy, uh, been places, just taking the family, going with my wife, and just traveling like as much as we can.
Amazing.
So, and like going places that I've been when we was in the WWE, and I was like, crap, I didn't remember seeing this because most of the time is hotel, arena, maybe a gym, bus, plane, next hotel, arena, gym. You know what I mean? So going and be able to enjoy a city and walk around a city and just be present is amazing. So that might be the big difference. I could go places now and say, oh, I've been here, but I didn't enjoy it as much.
That makes sense. Like you didn't get a chance to see it because you're busy with the shows and whatnot. I
Yeah,
was gonna
yeah.
ask you, like, do all your clients already know the fact, like, oh, you were Ezekiel Jackson, you were in WWE?
Um, I've had clients that say, had I seen your videos
Yeah.
before I got a chance to know who you are, I probably won't train with you because you're a scary dude in the ring. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
you're a scary guy. Huh?
But they all kind of get a gist of it. We talk about it, and it is who I was, still a part of who I am, but mainly, yeah, once they find out that who I am, some go on YouTube and look and it's like, ah, dog, that's not the same person. But yeah, so they know. After some people afterwards just learn that I'm like, not to brag, I'm probably one of the best personal trainers in the area.
No,
Um,
definitely brag. Definitely
I
brag.
get, I get results, and that's my main thing. Is like I want results. I push people, and again, this was my degree. I've always had this, So again, I did this before I started wrestling. While I was wrestling, and a lot of the guys used to get workout plans from me,
Definitely.
just cause this, But yeah, so this is just continuing something that I love. Another part of what I love.
Of course, of course. You were talking about like being a personal trainer, obviously. In your opinion, like on looking at the main roster of WWE, who do you feel like has the best physique in WWE right now?
You put me in prayer. Man, Bobby's just on a different level. To be, I think he's a year older than me. yeah, to be 46, 47 and looking the way he does. So just a different level. Um, Austin Theory, I got a chance to hang out with him.
He's a big guy
Funny
too.
story.
Yep.
He made me feel old first time he met me. He's like, man, I enjoyed watching you when I was a kid. I'm like, ah. But yeah, Montez, you
Mm.
know, um, I think Seth used to do a lot of CrossFit stuff, so he has that CrossFit look. I
Very
don't know
athletic build.
if
Yep.
the age is affecting a little bit now, but yeah, Drew. I just remember Drew when he came in at 220 or whatever, and to where he is now. So yeah, them cats are they're putting work in, man. And for me, when I started this, it was like the dudes I admired was Hogan, Ultimate Warrior,
Body
Dino
type.
Bravo, Campatera. So the muscular dudes, Don Morocco, like those are the cats that inspired me. And it's like I wanted to look like that. So when I got a chance to meet some of them, I was like, dude, I'm bigger than these cats. It's just as a kid, just the kid in me came out, and it's like, okay, I'm a peer now. So, but yeah, so the guys are working, man. So there's a lot of good looking physiques, and that for me represents what I like in when it comes to wrestling.
Certainly. What's your numbers in the gym right now, if I could ask? I'm a powerlifter, so I love talking about this kind of stuff. What kind of
Uh,
numbers are you looking at right now?
I'm old, man. Like
Doesn't mean anything. That
I
doesn't
don't
mean
like.
anything.
I'm happy if I get 300 on the bench
That's still
because
a lot. That's a lot.
what I mean. Like I last year competition with my junior. I don't know if you went through my page. Within the next couple of months, he's gonna be Big Rick, and I'm gonna have to be a Little Rick. Um, but like once he hit 400 on bench, I started competing to be like, I have to hit 400, but wasn't close. You know what I mean? I think I maxed out at 370.
Oh,
I
that's,
don't
again,
squat
really good.
because knees and back. I've torn my quads. I really don't push to the level. You know what I mean?
Completely.
Um, Deadlift I love, but again, stop at about 400. Just everything is to stimulate muscles now. Um, Back in November, I decided to compete again as a bodybuilder, but I had to pull out from that. Gotta have surgery in a couple of months. Um,
Well,
but
surgery for what, if I could ask?
hernia, something
Ah,
that I've babied way too long.
mm.
But yeah, but nothing major in the gym. Uh, if I get 120s on the incline with the dumbbell, I'm a happy man. I get a few reps with it, I'm happy. So
That's good. You
yeah,
say that like it's like 10 pounds. Like that's still impressive weight. Like I don't
but
think
you know what I mean. Like coming from where I used to have to find a gym with 150s and 200s, and so it's 120s is like, that ego just touched a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, they have the 120s. I'm happy. It's like that means I don't have to embarrass myself by not being able to do the heavier weights.
certainly, man. I mean, you're still absolutely like a beast in the gym. You're built like a unit. So like there's nothing to be ashamed of at all. But looking at like your wrestling career, where did it all get started for you? What made you decide that you wanted to become a professional wrestler?
Um, First of all, I wasn't born in this country. I'm from Guyana, South America. And we had a half a day of school. Like I can remember, it's very vivid. Like a half a day of school, and I went home, and we didn't have a TV. I mean, in my home in Guyana, we didn't have a TV, didn't have running water. Thankfully, had electricity, but no phone. And a neighbor used to allow the kids to watch TV, but through their window. Like you'd have to stand outside, and you had like this much uh, room to watch the TV. And if the neighbors' kids were being mean, they'll sit right in front of the TV.
Mm.
But one day I got home and I watched, and it was I don't know what the league was on, but I know it was uh, Iceman Parsons was on. I just remember the hair,
Yeah.
white tights, and I don't know who he was wrestling, but I just remember being like, caught up with this because again, big guy on TV, muscle, and people in the audience are having a blast. And in order to watch wrestling every weekend, I'd have to get my chores done, walk. Now it sounds lame, but walk a couple of miles to my brother's house to stay with him, to watch wrestling Saturday mornings. Then walk back home and a Saturday after, but just to go watch wrestling for about an hour. And that's if it came on, because in Guyana, they controlled what was on the TV. So if it came on, I'd get to watch. If not, I'd be like, okay, I'm going home. But that was it. Like, I was smitten from then. I was like, what are these guys doing?
It's just captivating.
And yeah, just captivating. And then I think the first story I saw when I went to my brother's was they were doing like a background in the Ultimate Warrior. And he was jogging and he was, no paint or nothing. And they kind of give a little bit of story. I was like, oh, so they're real people that become this character. And, what I mean? So I fell for it then, and, didn't think I was going to, because genetically, I didn't think I was going to be here, because my mom is 5'2", my dad is 5'6". My tallest brother, he claims 5'11", but he might be 5'10". You know what I mean? So I didn't think it was possible. So that's where I started focusing on the bodybuilding and the personal training and that stuff. But the height kicked in as a teenager, and I was gonna I went to Johnny Rod's to watch Prince Nana.
Amazing.
We went to the same high school.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and he told me about. He's like, I'm going doing this show. It's his first show, and I went and watched it. I was like, I called my mom. I was like, I want to do this. She's like, the very least, go to school, get a degree. Afterwards, see what happens. And but throughout college, Monday Night Raw. I think we only got Raw on campus. Then when I moved off campus, I was able to watch SmackDown and Raw.
Wow.
But yeah, that was it. Like, from 8 years old, smitten, teenage years, kept on watching, never took time off. Like, a lot of kids get to their friends will make fun of you. Oh, you watching that fake crap? So, like you watch Superman, you watch Superman fly, you watch Batman do this, so that never affected me. But yeah, so I've just been a fan from 8 until now.
It's amazing, especially going to high school, Prince Nana, especially seeing like everything he's doing right now in AEW, whatnot. Like,
man, dude, I'm so happy for that cat. I'm
great.
so happy. Like, what I mean? We never got a chance to work on a show together. Because my start in Brooklyn was at LIWF, which became Doghouse Pro. My first trainer was Lathon, the Tower of Torture, I think, TOT. Then some Wednesday nights, if I was able to get off work, I'd go work with Homicide, and Low Key would be there back then. Xavier would be there. Cats like Amazing Red came through, and a lot of East Coast talent came through, and I just didn't understand the independent aspect of wrestling. In my head, I saw WWE, and that was it. I didn't, the first show I drove my Navigator to, I think, Poughkeepsie, and made like $50. It cost more than it. It cost more than it cost my. I made less than it cost for my gas.
Yeah, that's money.
Never again. Like, it didn't excite me, the independence. So it was like, how do I get to the WWE? And that was always my pursuit.
And obviously you made it, and they gave you the name Ezekiel Jackson. I heard that came from Samuel Jackson. Is that true or not, or no? The internet's lying. Oh no. Where did Ezekiel Jackson come from? That's like a name in general.
I walked in. I think I debuted in. We had a dark match in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where I came out with Kendrick.
Yeah.
The next week we showed up and like, okay, you're gonna be on TV, and we've been catering, and one of the writers just came and said, hey, what do you think of Ezekiel? I was like, okay, because they'd asked us down in FCW at the time to give them names, ideas. And if, I'm a Christian, for me, my favorite biblical character is Gideon. So I was suggested Gideon, you know what I mean? And came with Ezekiel. I was like, okay, like, I studied the Bible, so a lot of scriptures just popped in my head. I was like, okay, how can I play off of this? And that's it, Ezekiel. The next week, funny story, they give me a list of names. Like, they wanted, I I don't think I've ever told anybody this. They wanted Ezekiel Shabazz. I
Ezekiel
was like,
Jackson.
I'm like, you want a Jewish Muslim? Like, it was not. It
Yeah.
didn't fit. And they came back with a list of names, and in my head, I saw Jackson. Um, and growing up in the '80s, one of my favorite movies was Action Jackson.
Ah,
So
okay, there it is.
I started thinking further ahead, like, okay, Ezekiel Jackson, Action Jackson could lead to that. You know what I mean? And that's where Ezekiel Jackson came from. It wasn't
There it
like,
is. There it is. That's good
you know,
stuff.
people's Pulp Fiction was out, and a lot of people talked about, but I'm not a vulgar person. I'm not that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's a big, strong guy. You just throw people around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't, that wasn't me. The Samuel L. Jackson stuff, but a lot of people suggested it, but I was like, it's not me. It wouldn't fit. You know what I mean? You may see it, but I don't see it. So that's how, so yeah.
That makes
I
sense.
got the guy
Totally.
Ezekiel Jackson, yeah.
All right,
It was
great.
very
I'm glad we
biblical.
cleared
Like,
that up now.
it was very biblical.
That makes sense. That makes. I'm glad we cleared that up. So the internet
Yeah.
got to change all their ways, saying it's Samuel L. Jackson. That's not true. It came from
No,
somewhere else.
no.
Obviously, amazing, man. Like I want to get to like something that's really cool. You're the last ECW champion
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Like how long did you physically have the championship after you won it? Like once you went to the back, did they just take the title from you then, or what happened exactly?
I got a version sitting right here, a belt. Um, I walked back, man, and sadly, they were ready to roll into NXT. That was it. Like, I came back, I'm happy as heck. And um it was kind of like in passing. You know what I mean? So it was always for me, I'm celebrating myself as a world champ.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure they saw something because they started running major promos on SmackDown,
Mhm.
for the next couple of weeks that he's coming to SmackDown, he's coming to SmackDown. So there was something clicking there. But it wasn't like a big celebratory thing at the I kind of I've seen the stuff in the past when somebody won a world championship for the first time, and you know what I mean, but they went straight into the promo for NXT and kind of, it was kind of in passing, but I wasn't offended because I'm like, dude, you saw something, whatever's next, I'm ready for it,
That's great.
and I'll hold on to this as long as possible.
As you should. I mean, like you literally are the last ECW
Yeah,
champion. Like that,
yeah.
no one can take that from you.
No,
Never, never. That's in history books.
we have, you get the purists who will be like, but Rhino is, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Hey, I'm not here to fight anybody over this stuff, man. Like,
That's what I'm here for. I'm here
you
to
know what
fight
I mean?
people over that. I mean, when I see it, the belt has 3 letters and it says ECW. So
ECW.
ECW.
We can all get, we could put together big schmas and see who come out on top, but
Yeah.
I
What are
think,
some of your? No, keep going. I'm sorry.
no, you know what I mean. So I've had people suggest, hey, maybe you should go to Philadelphia and come out with your belt and start something. I'm like, if you're not paying me to come out, fly from California to Philly, like it's got to be worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's some of your favorite stories like working on the WWE ECW brand?
Most importantly, working with Mr. William Regal. Like I
Yes,
call Mr.
legend.
William Regal. That man, holy. So when I started with Kendrick, everything he taught me, it was like, well, Regal used to teach me this. Regal used to teach me this. And Regal, you know what I mean? So a lot of my habits in the ring and movement was already, like, in a sense, secondhanded from Kendrick. And then to go and have, from August to about January, I think I got 6 months with him here in my ear, and him, you know, telling me and watching me from the ring and on the outside and correct it. You know what I mean? It was amazing. Like, stuff that even when I had my own school, I brought in to these kids. And it's like, he understands I guess the old school fashion of the business, which is a phenomenal foundation if you have it. If you don't have a solid foundation, you won't last. You'll be a flash in the pan. And you can, I think he still tweets ideas and stories and stuff out. And like, if you can grasp that foundation from someone like that who's been doing it forever, and could still go. And you know what I mean? Most importantly for me is like making this thing look real. Like, you know what I mean? Just like I said,
I mean, like,
I don't like controversy, but make this look real. As
no,
yeah, we understand it's entertainment.
yeah.
But when I step into the ring, looking the way I did, looking the way I do, I want you to believe and look at me and be like, did he just like, yes, you don't want to be in here with me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely not. Absolutely
And
no way.
so that's the kind of stuff that he taught. That's the stuff that you could see anybody who's listened and study under him carry through. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you watch Moxley and Dean Ambrose of Moxley and the cats who really, Kendrick, small as he is, a fireball. Like you're not, you know what I mean? You're not
Of
taking
course.
advantage of him. You're not making it look flip like it looks like a fight. And that's the stuff that he really instilled and I love to this day.
Yeah, no, he definitely has made a lot of guys like they look like real killers in the ring. Like,
Yeah,
if like as a fan watching him, like I would not want to mess with these dudes
yeah,
if I
yeah,
found them in a dark alley. Like, just no way.
yeah,
Absolutely not. But even when they moved you over to SmackDown, eventually you joined the Core. When did
yeah.
you find out you're going to join that group of Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, and Justin Gabriel?
The core came like a year later almost because I won the ECW Championship. It always pops up February sometime.
Yeah.
Literally a month later, my dad died.
Sorry to hear that.
It's you know what I mean. Then I buried my dad on April 3rd. Just the week I was in Phoenix for WrestleMania when my dad passed, so I wasn't at Mania. They flew me to New York. Um, so April 3rd, I buried my dad. April 5th, I was at SmackDown. April 6th, we're flying to Germany for a 12-day tour where they had me ready again versus Kane, scheduled to wrestle Kane 12 nights in a row. So I'm excited. I'm like,
It's big.
all right, here we go. This is what they were setting me up for.
Mm.
Let me see, two shows in Germany, 3 shows in Germany. First show in Scotland, I blew my quad out.
Oof.
7 days after I buried my dad. You know what I mean?
Terrible.
So I'm home for 6 months. Whatever whatever momentum I thought was coming, I was still like, okay, maybe it'll be there when I get back.
Yeah.
And when I came, I know I rushed back because you know what I mean? I rushed back because that's when the Nexus came in and the Nexus was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I came back 5 months to the day of having a surgery. Had a dark match versus Zack Ryder at the time, Matt.
Back right on it now. Yeah.
And I was just in limbo. Then they brought me out to do the pay-per-view with SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah, bragging rights.
Bragging rights. Yeah. And, you know, instead of coming out last, I came out second to last, and Sheamus was the big headline for that. I was like, okay, maybe we'll, you know, take off here. You got Edge over there, you got Rey Mysterio over there. Like you know what I mean? Then we go into a valley for a bit and sitting backstage and catering in Alabama, Birmingham. Billy Kidman and Jamie Noble came and was like, Zeke, you're gonna be in this group with Wade Barrett. I'm like, huh? Like, and that was it. Like, oh, okay, this was gonna happen. Yeah. Body slammed a big show. Oof. Which was amazing. Which my doctor who did my quad, he was like, when you lifted it, and that's when I was like, he kind of was like, I patted myself on the back because you held him up there. You know, everybody else did a big slam. And I'm like, no, I'm going to hold you up there. And I think he was probably a little bit mad at me for that. Because I'm testing my leg. I'm like, this is, yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's how that went about. And the next week we got the name. I think our theme changed like 10 times. Or like, I do not know any of our themes because I think it changed. Like we saw the thing, we did the logo and this, and then the theme was different every night. So, but that's how that came about. I was in Birmingham. I was told I'm going to go out and do this, and we're going to be a part of this group.
That's amazing. I mean, the group was like, it was really dominant too, and it came
Yeah,
also out of like nowhere. I was like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, like because in my mind it was just like another version of Nexus, and then I see you join. I'm like, oh, this is actually different. They're
yeah,
bringing different names and whatnot. And you guys even had a WrestleMania match. I believe it was WrestleMania 27. There
yeah,
was the Corre versus Kofi, Kane, Big Show, and Santino. I feel like
yeah.
a lot of fans when watching that match forgot that that match was supposed to happen. I don't think it was announced until like the day of the show. When did you find out you guys were going to be on WrestleMania?
Um, Rumors were it was going to be me versus Big Show,
Ooh,
but I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? That's in my head because we've seen graphics and stuff, but then it ended up being that Big Schmaz because, and the match was maybe 6 minutes long.
yeah, super short. Yeah.
Like, some people took some time. We had at least 12 minutes for that match. That match was supposed to be much longer.
Mm.
I think Ziggler and
Oh, the tag match. It was
the,
Ziggler and Lay
the mix
Cool. Yeah, Ziggler and Lay Cool versus Morrison,
and
Trish Stratus, and Snooki.
Snooki.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that went a bit longer. Ray and the star right now, Cody, went a
Cody.
bit longer. So we kind of got compressed a bit, which is again April 3rd, 2012, a year after I buried my dad. I'm walking out in front of 80,000 people in Atlanta.
Wow,
So
vindication. That's wow.
I came back. I told Vince, I told Johnny, I'm like, dude, you could fire me now. I'm like, you know what I mean, compared to where I was a year ago. So, but then I was like, okay, cool. Let's, again, expecting a launch. And we were, man, one day, one day I'll just, all that thinking is going to come out on a book or on a
Oh, I definitely would love to see a
I
book.
rant somewhere about, because we had meetings and we had all this stuff planned out and it's going to be a long thing. And, but, and again, I got the IC title from Wade
You did, yeah. Capital
um,
punishment.
to, in a sense, transition to Cody.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, again, IC champ, ECW champ. Like,
yeah.
I cannot, like, nothing can take those away. You know what I mean? No matter how much plans we had, how much I might be a little disappointed. Is just like it's business, man. And I
I mean,
wrote
you
that.
think about it, like the Intercontinental Championship, such a prestigious championship to win as well. You
Yeah,
won it. It was at Capital Punishment 2011. It was in DC. I was
yeah.
actually at that show. I'm from DC, so for me
Oh
that
man,
was crazy to see because you won the title that night. R-Truth had the main event against Cena, so seeing two African American guys,
yeah,
shot
yeah, yeah,
obviously was amazing to see. Like when
yeah.
you won that championship, regardless of how long you had it, just holding that title, what did you feel in that moment?
Father's Day, you know what I mean? Father's Day, like I was given a promo, and I was told by someone, "I do change that,"
Yeah,
but I'm very much cookie cutter when it comes to respecting the writers and their thoughts. You know what I mean? But I think had I gone with my gut feeling, I think it would have created just a bigger thing. Um, but again, I went with what they told me to. I think Jerry the King Lawler came in and interviewed me. Um, I think I got my words out, the personification, the domination. I didn't bite my tongue off. And again, it was I'm in a list of men like that: Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, I mean, freaking
yourself.
Gunther's taking this thing to our level, Cody Rhodes, I mean, so I'm in a group of men who, like, you get this is next.
Yeah.
And this was, sadly, I probably jumped too far ahead and didn't enjoy as much as what I could have. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? And I could have enjoyed it a bit more. But I enjoyed the fact that I did win that title.
Amazing. Now, I know you did drop it to Cody Rhodes. Like, what's your thoughts on seeing what he's doing right now? Because obviously he's like the biggest star in the
He's
world at this point.
freaking amazing, man. Like, we knew it was there.
Yeah.
From the time I met him when he was 22 in OVW, I mean, we knew it was there. And it was only a matter of time. Sometimes same with Drew. Some you just got to go and come back and create a buzz. Like I got a message, hey, why come you didn't? I'm like, oh, what I mean?
You're not looking to have one last match
There's a few I would love to have. Be real.
against who?
It's in my phone. There's a few that I would love to have. But again, it's got to be it's got to be worth it, and it's got to be in the stars. It's got to be in the right place, right time. But yeah, Cody's, you saw him back. Funny story, quick story. I don't think I've ever told this. Cody beat me for the title in Sacramento on SmackDown. Backstage at SummerSlam, my daughter was 2 or 3 at the time, tried to stab him with a plastic knife.
She didn't like that. She didn't like Cody winning.
So he saw her last September. He looked at her. He's like, "Let me see your hands." She's 15 now. Let me see your hands. Oh, okay, good. I can give you a hug now. You're not gonna shank me. So, but yeah. So Cody's on a tear, man. Excited for him. But again, it was there.
Yeah.
It was there. All the stuff he's done and he tried, it was just there. But whatever, whether it was the machine or whether something just wasn't clicking. But again, he came back and it's just so excited for him.
Yeah, he's a giant star. But as we start to wrap this up, looking back at your career, how do you feel about your wrestling career like now on the other side of it? When you look back, like, all right, as Ezekiel Jackson, I did X, Y, and Z. Are you happy with the wrestling career that you had?
There's some things I wish I had done a little different. Like I said, I followed protocol. I followed the rules. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. So in a sense, felt like now I could sit back and say, yeah, I could have tried some different things and try to be more myself in certain aspects. Kind of got a wake up call maybe 5 years ago. I reread an email from one of the head writers that I'd sent. I sent him a couple of ideas, and his response, and I reread it not begrudgingly, but now as an adult, I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was that, okay, you played it too eggshelly. You walked on eggshells way too much. But I thought I wasn't, you know what I mean? But when you're in the moment, you're trying to make it to the next week. Make sure you're on the show for the next week. Make sure you're on, you're part of the show. But the secret was given to me by someone a while ago. It's like, you need to be in that top 8. The top 8 knows everything that they know their Mania match for next year. They know everything, and that's what I think a lot of TV wrestling don't get. They don't forecast as far, whereas in WWE, these cats are thinking 2-3 years down the road. Yeah. So I think I kind of eggshelled it. I didn't go golfing with the guys. That's what my wife would say, because I didn't drink at the time. I didn't party. I didn't, sit and just enjoy real conversation. Like I had good conversation in the situations, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Triple H and I used to work out together. Taker and I would talk about books we were reading. Kane and I would just, you know what I mean? Like, had good, real conversations, but in a sense, I didn't do the golfing the way they did it, which is step out of my comfort zone. So I feel like I could have, and I didn't, but not regretting anything. Everything works out for a reason. And loved my, in a sense, 7 years there. 7 years since will be next week. 10 years. 10 years. April 6th will be 10 years since I was, but again, still have amazing friends. I don't know how this shirt ended up on today. Like this was accidental.
I was gonna mention that at the end. Yeah,
it was dark in the room and I grabbed the shirt before I went to work. Amazing friends. Still carries and still just again, an amazing time. It wouldn't change much now, but I appreciated every aspect of what I went through, what I did, what I accomplished, um, and where I am now. I'm just happy, like I'm blessed, man.
Well, as the number one Ezekiel Jackson fan in the world, I am very proud of the career that you had. Honestly, watching as a fan, like just seeing someone that looked like me on television every week, doing the
Yeah,
stuff they were doing, lifting the big show, like it was crazy. And I'm more
yeah.
than appreciative. Anyone that's a fan of yours, more than appreciative of what you gave to professional wrestling. But as we wrap this up, where can they find you on social media if they're not already following you?
My name is Rycklon, Rycklon. That's Instagram. I think it's on X. It's Rycklon S, and that's about it. I don't, you know,
Or TikTok.
most of my stuff. TikTok, I think it's Rycklon also.
There it is. Okay.
But I'm more active with my fitness aspect of life now. I'm trying to, my in-person business is amazing.
Yeah.
Deciding now on adding the online stuff, online training, and the online coaching. So I've been experimenting with to see how it works because I'm very much this person. WWE taught me how to love that interpersonal aspect. Online is different, but if I want to keep growing my business, I have to add that. So Rycklon, this is not much. There's two of us out there, my son and me, but he goes as RJ. So social media Rycklon and follow. It's going to be exciting. Adding some stuff, some different aspects to my business and my approach to social media. So yeah, been working on some stuff.
Amazing. This has been great. Thank you so much for this time you've been given today. I've been
Sure.
very gracious with your time. I greatly appreciate it. Guys, make sure you follow him all over social media. You have to, or he will body slam you because he actually can, because he lifted up the big show. It is very possible. Oh my God. Yeah, he doesn't look any different at all.
Came from the gym.
Yeah, this guy, he might be in the Rumble next year. Guys, my name's Malcolm. This is Muscle Memory, and we're out.